Welcome back to Space Cadets Away Missions. We have Annie Fletcher, First Officer, right here, and we have Professor Russell Pelham trying desperately to find the elevator, which they have not been able to, and we have a mess load of aliens now on the board trying to kill them. Alright, up first is Annie. She has to do a scan action. She must reveal the closest unflipped tile to her, which is this one here, 1, 2 away. No other option. So there's going to be a discovery token, there's going to be some aliens, and it is oriented this way, all the arrows pointing north. So nice wide open spaces, so that's at least something. The discovery token we find, whoops, as I drop it on the floor. It was so exciting, I didn't even know I could see it. It is the Ionoscope, I guess is the name of it. So we're going to have to find that card. The Ionoscope card. Where is that? There it is, the Ionoscope. The Ionoscope is 2 charges plus 1 success for any IQ dice roll. Spend charge before rolling. Wow. Unbelievable. Okay. That's what's in there, and my battery's dying, so I will change it and we will see which aliens appear on the tile. Right, fresh battery, alien time. What do we have here? Oh no! Another rotten brain in a jar and 2 saucermen. We just got rid of these brains in a jar. Brain in a jar and 2 saucermen. Okay, 1 and 2. Oh dear Lord, we're getting into trouble, possibly. Okay, wow, that was the scan action for Annie. Now she has 1 non-combat action and 2 regular actions and a lot of oxygen. Oh boy, what is she going to do? I think the first thing she's going to do is take a regular action to shoot at this saucerman. We have so many saucermen on the board, we got to start taking them down. She's going to be using, of course, the ray gun. The ray gun is going to give her 5 dice to roll. So let's go to the dice tray and have Annie make that attack. All right, it's 5 dice attack against the saucerman. Come on! She gets 2 successes, so that's pretty good. So that's going to kill the saucerman out of here. She has 1 overkill option, so let's go back to the board and she'll process that. Okay, she has 1 overkill option, and I think she's going to use her personal overkill, which is move out, and it's per overkill spent. Give 1 free move action to self or Rocketeer in the same tile. However, she also has her headset, which means the first officer can use move out on a Rocketeer in any tile. She does not have to share a tile. So she's going to get the professor to move out. He's going to move 1 tile in with the brain in a jar. So, and the Ionoscope. Now he can pick this up, I believe, immediately as well, because it's just a free action. So he's going to pick up the Ionoscope. And that's going to have 2 charges on it, and it's plus 1 success for any IQ dice roll. So excellent. He's really got a ton of stuff now, and that's going to come in handy with that brain in a jar, I can tell you. So that was Annie Fletcher's first action. For a second action, she's going to do a non-combat action, and she is going to open a hatch. That is what she's going to do. She's going to open this hatch. For the third action she has, she's going to do a move action. She's going to move through the hatch. Did that make any sense to Eve? Yeah, it did. She had to open one of the hatches. She is also going to spend 1 oxygen cube, because she has a lot of them, to do 1 more move action. She's going to move right in here with the professor, and as a free action she's going to give him 2 of her oxygen, so now they're each going to have 4 oxygen. So that's pretty good. Now that's going to completely end Annie's turn, and up next, of course, will be the professor. And so I have to think carefully of what I want him to do, and we'll be right back with the professor's turn. All right, well, the first thing the professor has to do on his turn, of course, is we now scan the closest tile. Well, that would be this one. Is it going to be the elevator or is it not? If it's not the elevator, I do believe we're going to be in big, big trouble. It's the elevator. Awesome. Wow, it was a 50-50 chance, but we finally found the elevator. So this tile can just go back in the box. And we found the elevator to get out of here. But it costs 1 action point to use it, which means to get out of here. So we have the elevator. Now, we've got the 6 thralls done. We have the elevator. What's in there for a discovery token? We have the strangely glowing orb. Okay, the strangely glowing orb. And what is that? The strangely glowing orb has 3 charges on it and gives you +1 to your IQ. Wow. We have IQ bonusing stuff all over the place. But we have, yes, this horrid alien token, a saucerman, a thrall, and another bug. Ay, ay, ay. Saucerman, thrall, and bug. Saucerman, a thrall, and another bug which was going to show up at the closest vent is going to be on this location here. And so, wow, now the professor has 3... Ooh, he has 3 actions, which I think could be most excellent. His first action, he's going to attack the brain in a jar with his ray gun. So he's going to be rolling 5 dice, attacking the brain in a jar. All right, Professor, attacking the brain in a jar. Come on, do something. Oh, yes. Unreal. He gets 2 hits, which is perfect for brain in the jar. The first one damages the brain in the jar, and of course we have an overkill. Let's go to the board and process that. Oh, that is so good. All right, we have 1 overkill with the brain in a jar. So we're going to take a look at brain in a jar. We're going to look at the overkill, which is the psychic burst. We've had this already. The psychic burst: stun all other aliens in or adjacent to the brain in the jar's tile, ignoring line of sight. That is so particularly awesome at this moment because we have a ton of aliens around us. So these 2 guys get stunned from the psychic burst. Wow, this is good. The thrall, the bug, this one, all 3 of these bugs get stunned. So everything adjacent to and in the space is stunned, and that is most excellent. Oh boy. And that's, wow, that was just his first action. His second action, now because these guys are stunned, it doesn't mean you can't attack them. So I think he's going to actually do a subdue attack, or he's going to try to subdue the brain in a jar. He has the ionoscope, which is +1 success for any IQ dice roll. Spend before rolling. So we're going to use that ionoscope. He's going to use the charge. It gives him an automatic success for IQ rolling. But he has an IQ of 5, so he's going to get to roll 5 dice. We already have 1 success, so let's go to the dice tray. This is working out very well. Right. Subduing the brain in a jar, we already have 1 success. Can we add to that? Oh my god. Well, we rolled 3 successes here. So basically the 1 success from the ionoscope subdues the brain in a jar. No problem. We have 3 overkills to process. 3 overkills to process. So let's go back to the board and wow, and we'll deal with that. Okay, 3 overkills to process. And during the subdue, or he did an IQ test. Oh wow, we've got so much to process. He's going to use his personal override option, which means he can open a hatch anywhere. So he's going to go ahead. He's going to go ahead and open this one. Yeah, I might as well go ahead and open that hatch. He has 2 more overkill options. Wow, 2 more overkill options. So he will... boy. He is going to use the telepathy band for an overkill option, which says use another Rocketeer's personal overkill option, and he has 1 charge left on that. So what he's going to do with that is he is going to have Annie move out, because that's her overkill option. Give one free move action to a Rocketeer in the same space, and you have to use it immediate. So he's just going to have her move right in here immediately. So she's in the elevator. That's excellent. And he still has one overkill option left. And I have no idea what I want to do. Boy, oh boy. I don't know what I want to do with that. One last overkill. Maybe he'll just give it up. He actually has one action left as well, which is so very good. Boy, oh boy. I think I'm going to have to think about this for a bit and come back. I'm confused. He has one more overkill option. I guess he can only open or close another door. And that's really the only thing he has left that he can use. So he is not going to do that. He's not going to do it. He's going to use his final action point to move into the elevator space. And he's going to now use an extra action. He's going to use one oxygen cube to shoot at one of the saucermen. So he's going to shoot at that saucerman with his ray gun. So let's go to the dice tray, roll 5 dice. All right, the oxygen overload attack with the ray gun at the stunned saucerman. Come on! Well, we get one success. So that's going to actually eliminate the saucerman. And we'll live with that. Back to the board, and I think that is going to be the end of our players' turns, and up next will be all the aliens. Right, is the aliens' turn. Up first in sentience order is the saucermen. The saucermen have move 1, and then they're going to attack with 2 dice. Well, the obvious thing is, let's do all the moving attack. These 2 guys are stunned, so this one's going to move 1, this one's going to move 1 space here. So these 2 move in. These guys are going to move to the lower number, to the 4, because they're trying to get here, and same with this guy. All 3 of these guys are out of range. There's going to be 2 attacks made into this space. Professor Russell went last in turn order. They're both going to shoot at him. He has 3 hit points left. Let's go to the dice tray and roll these 2 attacks from the saucerman. Wow, this is getting so down to the wire. They found the elevator. Okay, the saucerman number 1 shooting at our professor, doing 1 damage. Oh my goodness, he's down to 2 hit points. The second saucerman shooting at him. Miss! Oh, and he misses. So, back to the board. That's all the saucermen. Up next is going to be the thralls. All right, up next, the thralls. They only move one space, have 1 attack die, and they can not move through closed doors, and they only move or attack. So these guys obviously trying to get up here. And the only clear open direction is straight through here, so they're just going to take 1 step forward this way on their way to getting to the elevator. That's it for the thralls. Of course, this thrall is stunned, is not going to do anything. Up next, we have the lovely space leeches. They move 1. They can't move through closed hatches. They can move and attack in the same turn. I don't think this is going to be too difficult to figure out either. They're all piling in this way. So these 3 space leeches are going to move up here. This space leech is going to move there. And that's it. And then up next in order would be the bugs. However, all of the bugs are stunned. Every single one of them, from the psychic blast taking down the brain in a jar. So those brain in a jars actually helped us out a lot. But if you let them live too long, they can be extremely problematic. Wow, I cannot believe that we're almost out of the woods here. I think we might almost be out of the woods. We might be able to win. All right, up next is going to be the cleanup phase. So that's all the aliens. So cleanup, basically all stunned critters and aliens become unstunned. So all the bugs here become unstunned. A little hard to flip over these little guys. This guy's unstunned. The thrall wakes up from being stunned. And the 2 saucermen. Now all the hatches are going to disappear. These 2 are going to disappear off the board. And we're going to get our actions back for our professor and for our first officer. And now we've got to decide who goes first for next turn and who goes second. And I think the easiest thing to do is going to be we're going to have Annie Fletcher going first. And the reason we're going to have her, she has the heat ray, which can do a lot of good. Up second is going to be then Professor Pelham. So that's going to conclude today's episode. We have found the elevator finally, but we have a mass, an absolute mass of aliens coming our way. And so that's going to conclude, I think, today's episode. So thanks so much for watching along. This is Space Cadets Away Missions. We're playing the second adventure, Venus Escape from the Slave Saucer. The professor, and I want to call her Marianne, but it's Annie Fletcher, are close to victory, but there is an absolute mountain of aliens on their tail. So thanks so much for your subscriptions and comments and likes. I really appreciate it. This is Space Cadets Away Missions. Join me next time for the continuation of Escape from the Slave Saucer.